Let me introduce to you Attorney James Wilkie, one of the fine newer sponsors on the Steve Kane Show. James. My head's in the last spot. James,
it's all right, Steve.
Welcome to the show. Nice to have you with us.
Love to be here as always. Always love to be here.
End of a long week. Now, we have had the privilege of watching you work firsthand because I don't know whether it was God's hand or what, but shortly after you came on the air, Lori had an accident. She was hit from behind by an uninsured motorist.
Indeed, she was.
And how many months ago was this?
This happened towards the end of December, so roughly 5 months ago.
And you have been working on the case since that time, and it is how far away from a settlement would you say?
I think we're 5 to 7 days already from settlement, from start to finish.
All right.
That's a plus with my firm is that I like to move cases aggressively.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What is the difference between the average attorney that handles personal injury and your firm, which is you use those great words. I underlined them in my copy here. An aggressive litigator. What's the difference between a regular litigator and an aggressive litigator?
Okay, well, having a boutique law practice like myself, I like to keep my hands on all my cases. Sometimes when you deal with the larger paper mill firms who have thousands of cases, who don't handpick their cases and talk to their clients intimately, sometimes they'll let their clients treat and go through physical therapy, and it'll kind of sit in a drawer for months at a time. Whereas, if you're a hands-on attorney and you keep a constant communication with your client and the insurance company on the other side, whether it's your insurance company or the at-fault party's insurance company, I like to keep my hands on the case the entire time so that the other sides don't ever feel relaxed, or that they're going to let the case just sit in a drawer and then 2 years later then try to demand a case or something like that. Like in your wife's case, we stayed on top of it very, very aggressively. She was obviously hit by a completely uninsured motorist, and from start to finish, given her treatment and everything like that, we got her case done in under 6 months, and that's probably half of the normal.
One thing about that, if I always thought, well, if I'm hit by someone who has no insurance, I'm done. I wouldn't even think about calling an attorney.
Right.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. In Florida, a lot of people don't understand that you're not required to carry uninsured motorist protection. So that would be, first, my piece of legal advice to this entire audience, is that if you're driving around in South Florida, there are some very negligent drivers. And if you're not carrying uninsured and or underinsured motorist protection on your policy of insurance, do it now, because, for example, with Lori's case, she's got a very, very handsome recovery. Actually, the maximum that was possible to recover, we did. So there's definitely a lot of thumbs up going on around here in the
I can imagine, and there's a difference in insurance companies. There are companies that are not as efficient. Or, in other words, if you get hit, it's better getting hit by somebody with certain companies than others.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true. In South Florida, again, there are some insurance companies that, I don't really want to name them individually, but not like the major insurance companies, Geico, State Farm, Allstate. Those are all great insurance companies. But there are a host of smaller insurance companies that...
You call them knockoff companies?
Yeah, like knockoff, or, where they're essentially looking for reasons why not to cover you, and to claim that you materially misrepresented by not changing an address or not saying somebody lived in your residence, things like that. And you have to be wary of those companies, because sometimes they're just not going to cover you. You're paying for a premium for fun, basically.
Well, that's awful.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's why I have a job, is to make sure those companies aren't allowed to treat people the way they do sometimes.
Right. What are some of the other than the obviously the motorist portion of your practice? What other things do you come across in terms of the injury and personal injury and that stuff that's not motor vehicle related?
More so, that's a great question. I do a lot of slip and fall stuff. It may sound a little cliche, but slip and fall, meaning, if you're walking, business owners owe you the highest duty of care to make sure that you are warned of every open and obvious and every even hidden danger. They're not allowed to have slippery substances on the ground for longer than a period of time. And if they have notice and they know that there was a slippery substance on the ground and you didn't see it and you fell through and God forbid you break your hip or your arm or something, you're entitled to a recovery for that. You have the highest duty of care when you walk into a residence because you're there, you're a consumer, you're there to purchase goods, and they owe a high duty of care to you to make sure that you're safe. And if you're walking through a grocery store, a mall, or something like that, and you slip and fall and injure yourself, you're going to be entitled to a handsome recovery. So I deal with that a lot.
What is the minimum insurance that people should carry?
Well, the minimum insurance required by the state of Florida for uninsured motorist and bodily injury is zero, which is why we have a no-fault portion. That's for a different show. But they should at least carry $10,000 per person, $20,000 per incident, just in case, God forbid, you're hit with somebody that doesn't have a bodily injury portion of insurance and or enough property to cover your vehicle. So I've been practicing law for a while now, and some of the things that I see are pretty egregious. People just go around driving around without insurance, and that's again another reason why you should contact an attorney right away. Is because sometimes people have individual accidents.
Real quick here, because we're in rainy season, which unfortunately is the traffic accident time. So this thing with Lori, I find this fascinating. She was hit by some bum with no insurance. And she called you. And you've gotten her the maximum that she could possibly recover because she has uninsured motorist coverage.
Yeah,
is that how it operates? I mean, that's amazing.
She had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, and she had a litany of injuries as well.
Yeah, which is one. I mean, that's great. I mean, she deserves the money. In fact, Steve, the settlement's so good, you think you might want to reconcile now? Since
not that good. Yeah, but it's. We without going in, obviously I can't break the attorney-client privilege.
No, but what I mean is
she a very, very handsome recovery.
Well, what I mean by that is, listen, when you get hit, you have injuries. A lot of times you don't even notice it for a few days, or
Oh yeah, that's very common.
And there's so many uninsured people in South Florida. You get hit by someone for that's uninsured, I wouldn't even think about calling an attorney. But now I know that if that happens, I'm going to call you up right away.
The important thing is
not just care of you, I promise, Brian.
Not just any attorney you want to call. James Wilkie,
That's
who
right.
carries the number I'm about to give you, his phone with him all the time.
This is true.
So just pick up and dial 954-597-6770. James Wilkie. James, a pleasure as always.
As always, too, Steve.
And we'll have to have you in again soon.